All right, so yeah, for the last 5 days, Americans, people abroad, all over the world. I don't know why I'm trying to make this sound so dramatic. We waited for these states to finish counting, and a couple of them were called for Biden, and that put him over 270 and made him the 46th U.S. president. So him and his supporters are taking their victory lap. Trump, we haven't heard from since they called the election. We heard from him on Twitter about 4 hours ago, where he said that he won big, and we've basically now been waiting to see what the large responses are from the two candidates. So we haven't seen Biden say anything, and we haven't seen Trump say anything since the election has been called. Yeah, it is. It has been a really hectic week. I mean, just I really thought this would be over yesterday because we were told preemptively that Pennsylvania could finish counting by Friday. But even then, when we had all these polls that were talking about this massive lead that Biden had, there was an expectation that we might know the night of the election because he would win enough states to mitigate the idea of certain ones taking days to count. And unfortunately, it came down to the wire. I mean, this dragged out for so long, and because of that, people have tried to accuse there being some rigged process. And I've been saying this all week since that idea was first floated to me. If this election was rigged against Republicans, how in the mother of hell did the Republicans manage to retain most of their Senate seats? And not only that, defeat the Democrats to where they're worried they might not even have a majority anymore. But see, again, this when you accuse things of being rigged, a lot of times it's just because you don't like the results. I mentioned on my stream on Thursday that there was a woman I used to speak to who, after the results of the Alabama Senate race in 2017 came back, where Roy Moore was defeated by Doug Jones, who actually got defeated a couple of days ago himself, she accused the election of being rigged. And I was like, that is a red state where they elect Republicans every single, not every year because they have congressional races every 2 years, but overwhelmingly Republicans are elected in Alabama. So now the state's electoral system is rigged because one Democrat won a statewide election. I'm gonna do that if I run for office and lose. I'm just say it was rigged. I can never lose legitimately. The people could just have never heard of me or not be interested. It has to be some glitch in the system. That's how U.S. politics works. Whenever you get the result you don't want, it can't be a legitimate thing that occurred because people, for a variety of reasons. It's people have different reasons for not voting for you, but no, it's all rigged. If I lose, if I win, it's not. It was all fair. I told you that I felt like I was in a time machine because during the last election cycle, and a lot of people forget this, Trump was saying prior to the election that it was going to be rigged because the people who had been dead for 10 years were going to vote. And then after he won, you never heard him say that say that election was rigged ever again. So let the record show whenever you get smashed or don't win or are not victorious, that's when it's time to pull out the electoral abuse claims. And I'm laughing about it, but it's really sad that grown people float these ideas. Like actual adults are saying, no, we can only lose if they do something tricky. Yeah, it's really sad. Well, that part of it is sad. I'm not sad about Trump leaving. Yeah, it's just really disturbing that you have such a large group of people who don't want to believe in the legitimacy of anything unless it suits their own interests. I mean, to Trump's credit, he outperformed the polls, which had him, in some cases, 8 points down from Biden, to where he only lost by 2%. Oh, this is going to be just like last week where I did a stream and nobody showed up. That's another one of those YouTube phenomenons. Yeah, I was looking at the ratio on the channel, and I would complain about it, but uh, I actually have drawn criticism for complaining about not getting views, even though the whole point of this goddamn website is to get views. Like I actually had somebody get mad at me for doing on this site what is expected of people to do, which is try and get views. To have people watch what you put up. That's like a bad thing if I complain about it. So I live in the twilight zone. Every time something is a legitimate grievance of mine, somebody tries to twist it to not be that big of a deal, or to not be something I should openly complain about. Just suffer in silence. Yeah, this is just a really ridiculous website with ridiculous people. That's the best way to put it. It sucks too because this is one of the few times I've been able to stream and not have people here, so I can be as loud as I want. Me and my non-existent chat. That's pretty crazy too. These last, I think, 3 streams, there's barely been anybody on there. Because I remember when we had the midterm, not midterm, when Sanders dropped out, and then when we had there was some other high profile election. I think it was Super Tuesday. When I was reacting to all of those, I had like 10 or 12 people, and now it's down to 2. It's really weird. Can't wait for the complaints. I didn't get a notification. Nobody told me. It's like, well, hell, do I have to email you? Yeah, this website does not reward hard work. Like I mentioned this earlier, I was looking at my analytics and it was like, I'm down. I've been in the red for subscribers all year long. God, that is like, it's really aggravating when you put time and effort into something and then it seems as if you can't get anywhere with it. But again, if I complain about it, I'm the villain. Funny how that works. So I'll just wait for the chat to show up. If they don't by maybe, I'll give them 20 minutes. If they don't show up by then, I'll just wrap this up. Because that's what happened on Thursday, where there wasn't really anybody there, and I was like, yeah, I'm not about to sit here and talk to myself for like when I could just record a video if it's going to be like this. Oh, this is crazy. We just had this big election coverage going on, and this has kind of become my, I guess, pseudo regularly scheduled time to stream on Saturday, and now people don't even show up. Oh, this website. I'm just thinking about the different. It was the Discord snake and that individual that did the video on me. Who were like, oh, you should try to find a way to make money off of here. I'm like, who the hell would dare to bother wasting their time with a website that for the most part they can't even get 100 views per video on? Like, like that doesn't scream to me something that you should invest or make some serious attempt toward trying to, get some cash out of. Like, it's just stupid. I really don't see how anybody who has less than 100,000 subs could probably bother with taking this website seriously. And with me, it's just a thing of, I would rather not. What's the way of saying it? The expectation I have of this site after years of just kind of being on this, like this hamster on a wheel, like you're not getting anywhere. I wouldn't even bother with trying to do that. Like it'll always just be a hobby to me, unless I had maybe like at minimum I'd have to have maybe like 10 or 20,000 subs and have like I think 1,000 views a video. That would be something to maybe consider, bothering with. But as it stands now, no. Just like with the Krillin, with the top 10 Krillin fights video, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna not, I'm not gonna rush that out because I looked at the returns on the top 10 fights after the Vegeta one, and like you can't even get 100 views on that. And I kept getting told politics is boring. That's why you're not getting larger, even though TYT has 4 million subs and David Pacman has 1 million and Jimmy Dore has 800,000 and Secular Talk has 800,000. Yeah, the politics doesn't get anybody anywhere on here. That's how you know a lot of people when they start like trying to diagnose the problem, they don't actually do any research or know what they're talking about. Because everything I discuss, I can think of or find someone on here who's larger who talks about it as well. I still can't go over the guy that asked me if I knew how to edit videos after watching a video where I edited it to play the clip of the person I was talking about speaking. It's like, what do you think? You do you believe that my, I don't know, my YouTube software just installed that video in there itself? It was like, all right, let me show you what he's talking about. So I said, people on here don't even care. They just say whatever. Do you know how to edit videos after I just watched the video that you edited? No, this site is such a sad place to bother with. But it seems like any topic you discuss at maximum you can get maybe 100 views, and that's about it. Because I was saying that when you have people who deliberately choose to not subscribe, who choose to not hit the like button, you can't grow on here. And it's so funny how a lot of people, and that's why I said that it seems as if there's a big portion of individuals who just don't want to accept the outstanding factors of things that happen to people. So this is why if you discuss having trouble with getting a relationship, you'll be attacked for your perceived unattractiveness or unattractive flaws or whatever the hell, as if the people that turned you down were all perfect and magical. If you talk about not being able to get a job, you'll have people who will accuse you of being underqualified for the position as if you're applying to be the CEO of Microsoft. It's all just this big blame game so they can distract from the fact that there are circumstances out of your control that cause certain things to happen or to not happen. Case in point, there's actually a person who I made it a mission where every time they would upload, I would hit the like button, and they gained a couple of hundreds of subs in me doing that for about maybe 2 weeks. So I'm not saying, just to be clear, that would ultimately just change everything for me, because they're still not getting the number of views per the number of subs they have. But it certainly would be more helpful than sitting in the red all year long as you're like cranking out videos and you're having people say, "Oh, I like this," as they don't share it, they refuse to hit the like button. Just this is a really aggravating sight, and it's only really frustrating for me because when you have people who say they like your stuff and then you're just constantly seeing the -10 this month, -8 this month, it can be really obnoxious. People say they want you to stream, and then when you stream, nobody shows up, or if somebody does show up, it's a troll. It's just, it's a really disillusioning thing. Yeah, I'm -11 in the last 28 days. And because I live in the Twilight Zone, I have people who say they like my stuff, and then you come on here and it's a different story with the subs. It's just sad that like in a lot of past instances where I've streamed, you've had these people who come on here and make it about them. And they're like, all right, that person's not here. I can finally discuss something else. And then nobody shows up. Or the few that do don't want to say anything. So it's kind of, it basically is you talking to yourself on a live video, when the whole point of doing these damn things was to interact with people about whatever specific topic was being addressed. I mean, really, at this rate, like, I just kind of get tired of the lack of certain things that subs do. Kind of reminds me of that one time I had that person say, write a sequel to this book, and then I wrote the sequel and they didn't read it. Just people screwing with you. They're like, oh yeah, if you do this, I'll do that, and then they don't. Oh, finally! Damn, I have to wait almost 20 minutes for somebody to write something. Yeah, if this happens again, I'm not streaming anymore because I'm really sick of that. So I'll read what Urban World wrote, but that's my warning. I decided not to vote. Felt neither president would chance my life. I'll assume that you mean change. So I'll let the rest of the country fight over that nonsense. Well, I said before I didn't vote for Biden or Trump, so that was I guess a decision you decided not to vote together. I voted for somebody, for Howie from the Green Party. I'm an independent, had to drop out the Democratic Party. Yeah, I'm only registered with them so I can vote in the primary. If they didn't sometimes run interesting candidates in their elections, I would just say to hell with it. Yes, I was always a Democrat, following my family's footsteps, but had to start thinking, oh, don't start with that. Because we've been having TYT's having a field day with that facts over feeling thing, where you had Rick Santorum on CNN say we need to give Trump and his supporters time to heal and to have some soft. It's like you're the same ones who were laughing at people crying that Hillary lost 4 years ago. So let's not, no softballs. They were laughing at all of those different Clinton supporters. That's why I said November 8th was election day, but November 9th was crybaby day because all of her supporters were at the headquarters with tears pouring down their eyes, and then different people who didn't like Hillary were taking that and making memes out of it. I would hate to see you not go live. I do find it where people would just stare without typing. Yeah, that happened this past Thursday where I had it was like 4, 5, 6, 7 people in there, and they just wouldn't say anything. I was like, "What the hell is this?" I just find it weird because the whole point of a stream is to talk to the people that show up, but then they show up and don't say anything. So you're just sitting there staring at the camera like this. That's just too creepy. Yeah, but it's also a waste of my time because I could do a better video that's edited and to the point than sit here and take an hour out of my day to address people that won't say anything back. On another note, I would say that I'm eager to see what the I choose to not address those people. Hardcore. Well, a lot of the people who've been supporting him have had different reactions. You've had a lot of the Republicans in Congress, because Trump's saying that the election was rigged. Because as we know, if you lose an election in the U.S., it's always because they rigged it against you. You can never just lose legitimately. A lot of the Republicans in Congress don't want to say anything. They're just sitting there with their mouths sealed. And then Trump's son Don Jr. came out and said, "Hey, we'll remember the ones of you that didn't support my dad." So they've been all just melting at the brain. The reactions have been fun to watch. Cities erupt in celebration after Biden defeats Trump. Yeah. I was just reading the CNN headline. That was funny. I'm just like imagining there's this wave of joy going around. And then tomorrow or like 2 months later, everybody's getting kicked out of their houses because Biden, neither Biden nor Trump pressured the congressional politicians to pass COVID relief. CNN stated that Trump has accepted his loss, although he is currently fuming at the moment. Yeah, I don't expect a concession speech or anything like that. I mean, it doesn't really matter because he can't change anything. So I wouldn't take that too seriously. He'll probably, at worst, send out some more evil tweets, and then probably give a couple of speeches. But it's not going to matter. It's just him being, angry that he lost, ego. So I wouldn't take it as that big of a deal. I honestly was shocked to see how badly Biden defeated Trump. I rarely saw people at Biden's speeches, but tons standing behind Trump. Well, isn't the reason for that partially due to the fact that Biden didn't campaign as actively as Trump, and he also had social distancing, so you wouldn't see a whole bunch of people crowded around him. Now, those crowd sizes are really annoying because people were trying to use that to measure the fact that Clinton lost the previous election. Like, well, Sanders had crowd sizes bigger than probably any other candidate in that primary, and once Biden got those endorsements, it was a wrap. So that really shouldn't be the determining factor of if someone's going to win or lose. Yeah, and then when Obama was going out in the last week or so of campaigning for Biden, he had people honking their horns when they would agree, or that was like their way of applauding him. Oh my God, the magic number went up to 8. Are we going to get somebody that's not Mr. Urban World to comment? One can only hope. We'll see how this goes. It doesn't bother me that he won, but the crime bill kind of irritated me. I mean, why do you think a bunch of us didn't support him in the primary or the general? Like you architect this system that gets people and makes their lives harder, and now you've allowed Trump to go around and take what was that, the First Step Act, which was supposed to be a very basic criminal justice reform that would later be expanded upon by other politicians down the line. Take this very basic reform, and now he champions it. I'm the one who prevented this system from getting worse. I'm such a great person. Not because it affected me, because it ruined families. And yeah, it didn't affect me either, but it still wasn't good. I love how Republicans pretend to care about the crime bill. They were just trying to obtain the black vote. It's even more ironic because a lot of them have supported, tough on crime laws before. Oh, finally, Dio. This is the person that overslept on my last stream. He said I was too busy catching Z's to catch your analysis. And now somebody's showing up. So I can't be as loud anymore. And they're probably going to interrupt the stream and I have to mute it for like a whole minute as I get asked 30 questions. There was a guy that went crazy because you never responded to him. He returned after that, but he still, I haven't forgotten how insane that was. I'm mad at you because you won't read my messages, even though most people who stream don't read the messages of most people who comment. You can't just watch somebody's stuff and enjoy it. You have to interact with them. Like I watched TYT for 7 or 8 years, and I've never spoken to any of the people on there, and you don't see me on their streams going, TYT, TYT, TYT. I had to go to bed before 10 a.m. I don't know what time it is over there. No, it was I thought it was creepy. It's just the entitlement. Like you expect me to forever respond to you. No, that I've never seen that done to any other streamer on this website. Usually, what happens if people start spamming or being off topic, if a person has a bunch of mods there, they just have the mods get rid of them. But the thing is, my mods weren't like none of my mods were in that stream when that happened. He said Egypt is so bad he had to steal this JoJo character's name when he came online. What do you think that people accusing Biden of having dementia? Well, he was forgetting a lot of things during the debates, but ever since we've entered the general election, he still says stupid stuff like you're not black if you don't vote for me, but uh, that's more just a problem with him saying ridiculous things versus not remembering something. Yeah, I think Trump should take it. Trump is the one who's been kept his health, secretive. He had some stupid doctor talking about he would live 200 years. I never believed Trump had COVID, but that's just me. I mean, I don't know why he would make it up, but whatever. Everybody's got a theory for something. I remember when Biden put out the tweet where he said, "I hope Trump recovers," And you have people in the comment section going, "You don't really mean that. You're just saying that to look good." It's like, how the hell do you know if he means that or not? He can't just not want this man to die from this disease just because a bunch of liberal clowns that nobody ever heard of were spamming evil stuff about Trump on Twitter. The presidential candidate has to too. I've never seen him in the mirror. So you're saying that Trump is Dracula? Did you see the news about Biden's son laptop that mysteriously went missing at a Delaware mall? Odd how these things pop up during elections. No, it's not. They have what's called the October surprise, where some shocking event happens that nobody could have predicted. That's why, if you remember the Hollywood Access tape where Trump was saying that he wants to grab a woman by the you know what, that came out, must be, I think, 3 weeks before the election last time. And it was an old recording that I forget what that station's name is, but they held on to that tape for 11 years. And that whole election, they let this man run for president for over a year. And then after he gets the nomination and like does okay at one of the debates, they drop that. I'd like to know how they knew he spent around 21,000 on an adult website, because to see someone's finances, you'll need the user and password to access their bank statements. Maybe they just made it up. Oh, they have Sanders on CNN talking about this. I usually would turn this off and go listen to him, but I'm good because he's just been stumping for Biden. Cities erupt in celebration after Biden beats Trump. That's all I hear, and I see Sanders getting spoken to by Cooper. So that's that. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I was very surprised at these damn subs of mine. I couldn't believe it. Like, where did they go? Such a momentous day, and they claim they like my stuff, and they're nowhere to be seen. What's happening? I told the guy, you've never used the words fake news until Trump was elected. I had a guy call me a follower, yet wherever I post this, see, oh, they love doing that. Let me tell you how this works. If CNN posts a story that makes Trump look favorable, then it's real. If they post one that's not favorable toward him, then it's fake. So they posted poll, Trump is up in southern states. See, look, I told you he was going to win those states. It doesn't matter what the Democrats do, they're not going to win those states. If they post, the majority of Americans, I don't know, like Trump's speeches. See, I told you he was popular. I told you people liked his speeches. I told you he was well liked and loved and cherished by all. Whenever they do that, whenever they have something that like leans toward being nice about him, just like with his State of the Union speech, it was watched by millions of people. See, I told you people wanted to hear Trump speak. Yeah, they know what's going on. Anytime the story looks as if it's in his favor, it's real. But if it's not, then it's false automatically. I guarantee you, if he won today or on Tuesday, whatever day they ended up calling this election, uh, all of his supporters go, see, we beat him, we beat those Hollywood liberals, yeah. But because they're losing, now the results are rigged. Now everybody's working together. I think YouTube is trying to hush certain channels. I was not notified you were live, and yet you somehow still ended up here. How does that work? Apparently, the hushing isn't too powerful. But you're right about YouTube being kind of antagonistic toward people, because there's actually because Jimmy Dore did a video, he was talking about YouTube was unsubscribing people and to make sure that you have the bell clicked for notifications from him. So there is a record of YouTube screwing with certain people on here. Remember, they demonetized me for 2 months. Of course, I didn't stop uploading because I'm not in this for coins. But my point is that they do certain antagonistic things. I knew you were into politics, so I've been checking on people with similar channels to yours. Oh, you've been ignoring me. So you can find another man who's into this topic. I see. Would you say your area is more liberal or conservative? Mine is pretty mixed. I actually saw a guy with Biden signs wherever. His neighbors had Trump posters all over the place. Yeah, when I went down the street, I just saw, and again, it's not that many people doing it, but I've only seen Biden and Harris stuff splashed everywhere. I haven't seen one Trump sign around this place. Pretty level-headed in comparison to other channels. I mostly watch those other guys just to see how miserable they really are. I mean, if I was so level-headed, you wouldn't have not watched me for months. But you can tell the truth. You can say you didn't like me, and that you've already unsubbed, and that's why you weren't notified. You can just tell the truth. Your secret has been exposed. I think I've been subbed for 2 years, maybe 3. No, you're just trolling me. That's why Dio's not saying anything anymore. He's letting you do your troll thing. Also, Dio doesn't really live in Egypt. He lives in Japan. Even they're even lying about what country they're in. Yeah, it's probably the one with the 200,000 views, where I sat there for uh what, almost a quarter of half an hour. What, no, it was almost half of half an hour, and discussed how ridiculous a lot of the stuff chicks do is, in a nuanced way where it still was largely respectful. And then I had a bunch of comments from people calling me ugly and saying that I was going to do terrorist things and all this weird crap. Like I do have the comments in my email. Well, part of me almost wants to go through them and make like a what's it called, like a poll to see how, like, what percentage of them actually addressed anything I said in the video. Urban World, imagine doing a video where you like speak about how ridiculous something is, in a nuanced way where you just kind of talk about it, and then you look in your comment section and people are talking about they don't think other men are talking about they don't think you're attractive. Like it's weird, and it's really disrespectful to you because you're trying to address an issue and people are focusing on something that has nothing to do with the issue. I love how so many people are judgmental yet can't fix their own lives. Yeah, that's why I said it's very weird to me that all of these romance gurus find themselves on a video of a man not being able to get with the broad. I know how to draw, but you don't see me looking up videos on how to draw. So if these people are all such great experts on getting with a woman, shouldn't they be out celebrating with the broad instead of hunting for videos on that topic? Right? Yeah, people are very, very judgmental. I mean, goddamn, I was like anything you can think of, I was attacked for. My hair, my glasses, my cross, my voice, face. It's like, what the hell? And again, what's the most ironic part is that you have these people who talk about how men are so judgmental of chicks, And yet I'm not the one who's done any videos talking trash about the way they look at all. It's always the way they act. So it's funny how like they've put me in the position of being the one who gets shamed for their appearance, or is like what's the way of saying it? They've reversed the genders. They've made it to where now as a man you get attacked for the way you look. And then like the women are all getting shielded by me because I don't put up any of their pictures. Let them hate. They're not showing their face on camera. Well, no, it's just annoying because think of how stupid this is. Urban World. You know this man has approached dozens of broads. You accuse him of only going after chicks who are above his league. But as a man, you're supposed to find women attractive, not men. And you've never seen what any of the women he's talked to look like at all. So you have no proof that these chicks are all so magically beautiful. That's just something you came up with in your head to, I guess, rationalize this stupid crap happening to this person. And as a man, you're not supposed to find other men attractive anyway. Certainly not more than women. Like the majority of people who have called me ugly online are other men. I think I might have saw one broad on that, in that must be dozens of people that said that. One broad said it, and it was all just man, just after, at one after another. I'm supposed to be straight, so I'm going to tell you that you're not attractive to me, even though you're not supposed to be attracted to me because I'm supposed to be straight. I was in a similar situation and had people tell me that I put women on a pedestal when that wasn't the case. But let's pretend that's true, right? Even if you did, why does, so what are, like, are all of us supposed to not do that? Like, why does everybody have to do the same thing? Why does everybody have to look the same way? Why does everybody have to have the same experience? Because that's all this is about, you know, you doing something different from them and them not agreeing with it, so they try to like use it as your fatal flaw. Now the last 3 years of people on this website have really just been very toxic. Had another guy tell me that no woman would want to date a guy who wears ripped jeans. Yeah, because we all know in the whole history of men, not a single one has been able to get screwed while ever being seen by that woman wearing pants that had rips in them. It was the same thing where people were trying to tell me that if you don't have six figures or some stupid crap, you won't be able to get with the broad. And I literally have a person who got with the man doesn't have a pot to piss in. I don't even think he has four figures, and he still was able to get screwed. And it's like, how the hell do all these people that live in the hood have kids? They really want you to think there's some like quasi millionaire man that shows up in his Lamborghini after coming out of his mansion to go screw some chick that has, you know, stretch marks and the house is like halfway decrepit. I'm telling you, when you're a man, they want you to be Superman. They want the broad can be whatever, but you have to be like some kind of comic book character. That's why I did the video how romance dehumanizes men. Women care more about confidence than appearance. Well, that's another like thing that's weird to me, right? If you criticize chicks, you get accused of being part of different romance groups, uh, and people like accuse you of not. What's a good way of saying it? It's like this weird contradiction where people accuse you of not being confident because you're not with a hoe, but if you're able to critique what they did and be confident of what you did as far as your role is concerned, wouldn't that mean you had confidence? Like, think about it. If people can write all this trash about how you look and you go, no, it's still them. You can crap on me all you want. It's still their fault. Isn't that confidence of your belief system? Isn't that you believing in yourself and what you think is right? Again, when you're on here, all you do is get attacked in BS ways that when people actually sit back and think about it, make no sense. Like I'm supposed to feel bad because a bunch of men wrote to me and they don't think I'm attractive. And that's the weirdest crap. The majority of opposition to my position is coming from men. Like I was really disturbed by how many men came on there trying to offer me advice and write all this like character analyzing crap. Because I've never once watched a single video by a man on this website saying he was done with chicks and giving a damn. Certainly not enough to try and change his mind. I even had a broad earlier this year who asked me I told her point blank, the only reason, because she said she was done talking, like trying to get with anybody. I told her the only reason I care about the fact that you said you don't want to get with anybody is I want you. That's it. If I wasn't interested in her, I wouldn't give a damn. Hell, and I look like sitting there going, oh my God, Joey said he's done talking to chicks. I've got to write him a paragraph. Like nobody thinks that's weird. I have trust issues with some of these women, to be honest. Well, hell, you can't even trust them because they'll say one thing and then do the opposite. I had one of them who literally said, "Now you know I'm not even going to rehash that. You get my point." They like people who aren't there will tell you that none of these broads are attracted to you because da 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 da. But then you actually read the stuff they write to, where they're talking about how you're so important to them and you're so funny and you're so smart. And in more extreme cases, they say you're attractive and then they still don't want to go on a date. But again, you have no redeeming qualities, and you're not appealing to anybody, despite what they themselves say. I had a woman who claimed to be into me. Yet when I left, I heard she did something with an old friend of mine the first day we met up from the internet. Well, again, it goes back to that thing of red herring where they say one thing and then do the other. But that's why I said like the chick stuff is really irritating, because the actual chicks will say things that position you to think this might actually work out. And then after it doesn't, you have to come online and have people tell you about how you'll never be able to get with a partner until you do these 99 damn steps. It's like, well, then how the hell did this broad supposedly, like, was she lying? Hey, I was going to say Megumi here. This is usually his territory. Urban will imagine they might as well write a book. Those guys have all the answers on. Yeah, everybody is a romance expert. Urban World, imagine if I was a woman and I told you that I found you smart and funny, and then after I turn you down because reasons, you go online and people tell you need to gain some intelligence and learn how to talk to a woman. It's like, well, then how the hell did this broad, like, why did she write that crap to me if I didn't have supposedly the skills to interest her? Could it just be that she can't make up her damn mind? But again, that would require actually looking at the contradictory behavior of the broad, and they're not trying to do that. They're trying to accuse you of 99 missteps. If you had just done this. No, they should write a book. Oh, things were less complicated 20 years ago. It wasn't until the internet happened and all of these chicks were able to get men who'd never even met them going that this turned into the ridiculousness that it is. I'd probably be married if I were born during, it's not even just during the 40s and 50s. There was no internet in the 60s. There was no internet in the 70s. There was no internet in the 80s. There was primitive internet in the 90s. Like up until maybe 2009, 8, 7, that's when it just started going to hell. And like people don't want to accept that this is just a thing that's happening to a whole bunch of people. Well, even without Zuckerberg, you have other, like Instagram, for example. I've met 2 chicks who have not to me but to others talked about having men who they've never met go in their DMs and go, I want to get with you. I like you. who I didn't even consider attractive, by the way. So really, it's like people don't want to accept that that's a big factor in why it's so damn difficult. So that's why they blame all these men and tell you that you need to work on yourself forever and do these 99 different steps. It's really sad too because a lot of men who would have been considered decent or fine to get with now have to like be told they need to transform into uh, some fictional superhero. I hate how these social media women want to see how many followers you have and you want to subscribe to their OnlyFans if you want them to reply. There was an actress who was in two shows I used to watch that didn't made an OnlyFans. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, do men who sign up for that really believe she cares about, like, she's got what, 50 of them on there that she talks to? And you're gonna be the one that she's like so interested in? If a woman has her Snapchat in her bio, she's talking to hella men, yeah. That's why it was funny when one of them got like offended that I spoke to some other bro. I was like, you're upset with me for talking to two women that I am not in any way connected to whatsoever except platonically. Even a chick from Disney created an OnlyFans, made 1,000 in 24 hours, made 1 million in 24 hours. That's why I said if a woman's not interested, she's not interested. It really should be as simple as that, but people, they have to find 99 faults with you. Heading to the kitchen to grab a snack. Oh, yeah, this election, these people online, it's all the same. If you come on here and give like a nuanced response to a problem and people don't agree with you, they can't break down the points you're making. They start talking about the way you look, accusing you of crap. I want people, like, when I came on here, I expected adult conversations with adults, and it's just been a bunch of BS. But anyways, I'm about to get off of here because I have to use the bathroom. So I will stream again on Monday, and then I'll probably do one again on next Saturday. Because I'm glad that the stream started picking up after a while because I was getting a little annoyed. Yeah, Urban World, click the bell because this website does tricky crap. We're not going to tell you that he's streaming. They're trying to be the new anime villains. You're going to see them in a chapter of what is it, Shonen Jump? YouTube's the new villain. It's like he wants his subscribers to watch his videos, but I'm going to manipulate the numbers. So look at seeing that everyone's dancing. I see it. It is funny. But yeah, I'll do another romance video soon. It'll be about I know the topic, but I keep forgetting the name of it. So thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.